What's up? Oh, I'm too loud. There we go. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Make sure you hit that like button on your way in the building. We're going to have a little bit of conversation about our running backs. It seems like two of them hit the news lately. First off, Raheem Mostert giving us an update on his injuries, and Chase Edmonds has a few words for those who are doubting Tua Tagovailoa, and we're going to talk about that and more. Make sure you hit the like button on your way in the room. Thank you so much for tuning in. Horsey Head, I see you all the way from the Bahamas. Salute to you. Ronnie said just in time. What's up, Mr. Braden? Miles Johnson, how are you? OGTD from California. Triple S Podcast, that's my homie. He in the building. TD, give info. That's what I'm here to do, Marcus. And without further ado, we'll go ahead and dive right in today. But if you could do me a favor, make sure that you hit the like button. Ladies and gentlemen, the success of the Miami Dolphins, I know I do say this a lot, it's going to depend on Tua Tagovailoa this year. And you know, nothing's going to change my belief on that, okay? But one thing that can definitely help Tua out this year, that can really take a lot of pressure off and provide him the necessary environment around him, is a good running game. That's the best thing for any young quarterback, is to have a really good running game. That way you're not putting everything on the quarterback's shoulder to carry the load. It's complementary to what the quarterback can do, and it can definitely help us do bigger and better things. We plan on running the ball through a ton of different facets, okay? That being with the wide receivers, with the running backs, whatever way we can. But we're adopting a system that looks like, from a rushing standpoint, has always been successful, and that's what Mike McDaniel is going to be bringing to the table. But in order for all of that to work, in order for all of this to get going, our running backs are going to have to be available, healthy, and ready to rock and roll and at the top of their game. And there's been a lot of wishy-washy with that, because a lot of these guys are very injury prone. You know, they deal with a lot of injuries, and some of them are coming off of injury. A lot of people assumed, you know, between Raheem Mostert and Chase Edmonds, one of these guys will get the starting role. I contend by saying that we're going to do it by committee. So whoever the starter is, I don't look at it as the actual starter. Just like we learned that with Kalen Ballage and Kenyon Drake, it was just by committee, by matchup, whatever works for that week. And But we did get an update from Raheem Mostert recently that was definitely very promising, and it's definitely what we wanted to hear because Raheem Mostert basically has been dealing with an injury, and within that injury, he hasn't been 100% healthy. And the goal is for him to get back on the field, practicing at full strength so that we can feel good about going into the season. But he did tweet out recently. He gave us an update. Here are his words. He said, wanted to give everyone a couple of updates. Family is home and everyone is great, which is good to hear. Miles is doing great. Rehab is going great, close to 100%, and got a few things coming up that are for the fans and can't be more excited. And I'm excited to hear that because we're going to need all of our running backs at full strength, ready to rock and roll, ready to ball out for us, ladies and gentlemen. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's what we're going to need, okay? Now, as far as his injury, it was a knee injury that he's been rehabbing. So we don't know what version of Mostert we're going to get when he comes back. We don't know what version we're going to get, but we'll try to be optimistic that he'll give us the best version of himself that he possibly can. Now, we've never seen Raheem Mostert, just like break out and become this dog in the NFL, like this ultimate running back in the NFL. I mean, and that's just to be honest, that's the reality, okay? Just to give you a little background, 2015 as a rookie, he bounced around between 3 teams, and Miami was actually one of them, if you didn't know that. And he only played 1 game for us. He didn't start, but he didn't even get a carry, okay? But he bounced around, couldn't find a home. His whole entire rookie season, he never got a carry on any team. Thank you, Zach, with the donation. Said, God bless to you and the family, TD. I appreciate it, homie. And then his second year, he was on 2 teams, the Chicago Bears and the San Francisco 49ers. He still never started a game. He was present to play in 3 games, and he only got 1 carry for 6 yards. So his first 2 seasons in the NFL, he got 1 carry for 6 yards. So this is a guy who was practice squad, bouncing around, trying to, find his footing in a job. But ever since then, San Francisco decided to stick with him and keep him on the roster, and they utilized him as a developmental player. They wanted to develop him, okay? They wanted to develop him. So year 3, he's on the roster. He's active for 11 games. He still didn't get any starts, and he only got 6 carries for 30 yards. So some special teams work, still couldn't get a shot. Basically 3 years in, really never got a shot. Year 4 comes around. It's honestly more of the same. He's active for 9 games, gets 0 starts, but he does rush the ball 34 times for 261 yards, which he actually averaged 7.7 yards a carry in that small sample size, but that is still, it reminds me of the guys like Kenyon Drake, Balaj, Jakeem Grant. They're backups, but when you let them play, they actually come out and make plays. Isn't it always that way? And it leaves you with, when they get in the starting lineup, will they be great? And that's where you kind of question it, right? Mostert, yeah. Did I say something else? If I did, forgive me. That's my bad. So then after 4 years in the NFL, not really getting a shot, in his 4th year, got a few spurts here and there, but after 4 years, the 5th year in 2019, he finally gets his shot. But he gets his shot as a certified backup. He was eligible to play all 16 games, but still didn't start any. But he did get the backup role and got 137 carries for 772 yards. And that was a 5.6 yards per carry. And listen here, 8 touchdowns. That's where he broke out. He wasn't a starter, but he put up he put up top end second string numbers, bottom end first string numbers. but the yards per carry was phenomenal. That's elite in the NFL, 5.6 yards. And that was the moment where the team felt, you know what? Next year we're going to go into the situation and we're going to allow him to be our guy. And he finally got his shot, played 8 games and started 8 games. He rushed for 104 times, 521 yards, 5 yards a carry, and 2 touchdowns. But unfortunately, another situation where injuries got in the way. Another situation where injuries got in the way. He was definitely, had he played the entire season, would have had his first year over 1,000 yards, and he would have been, maybe you would consider, like, and this is my estimation, like the 12th or 14th ranked running back in the NFL. But just look at the progression and look at the yards per carry every time. Always over 5 yards per carry. And he came back in 2021 ready to go, ready to give it to the team, but he only played 1 game and 1 start where he got 2 carries for 20 yards, 10 yards a carry. So honestly, in the last 2 years, he's only played a half a year of football. He's been removed from really getting any action for a year and a half, ladies and gentlemen. So the reality is, we don't know what version of Raheem Mostert that we're going to get. But if he can get back to his trajectory of where he was headed and he can stay healthy, we will definitely have a very productive running back that can help us win games and make big plays. So that's what we should be looking out for. That's what we should be excited about. And listen, he's talented. There's no doubt. We just don't know what he's going to be post-injury. But a lot of people say, you need to be more optimistic, bro. And I'm going to be optimistic that he's going to be right back to his best version. And there's still room to grow because he's following a trajectory. And although he's been in the NFL now for 7 years, and this will be his 8th season, he does not have 7-year mileage on him. I got to be honest with y'all. The kid in total, like, it's almost like he only has 3 years of mileage on him. When you really look at the games he's played, and honestly, he doesn't even have a full season of starting. He's only started 9 games in his career. But altogether, in all the games he's appeared in, the kid has less than 3 years of action. So he's still fresh. But those injuries sometimes can hurt that freshness. So he's the guy that we're all going to be looking out for. Mike McDaniel said not too long ago, he's the guy that we're looking to, he's expecting to play week 1. That's what he's shooting for. And he expects him to play when he is healthy. And I'm not sure that they're going to consider him, the starting back at the time, because first of all, he's missing a lot of valuable time right now. So we'll keep our eyes on that situation. On to another running back as of late, Chase Edmonds, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I need to ask y'all, who do y'all think will be starting at the running back position? Who do you think is going to get the start at the running back position? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Who do you think? Do some of y'all even know who all our running backs are? Gaskins, that I doubt that. He's not a McDaniel guy. Don't forget that. Dokes, y'all, come on, be serious. Edmonds, that's what I'm thinking. Edmonds will get the start. Mostert and Sony Michel, depends on who's looking better at the beginning of the season. Well, the good thing is we got some backs, y'all. We got some backs. I feel good that if anybody gets hurt, I feel like all these guys are just as capable as all of them are capable just like each other. I think all of them are just as capable of each other. To me, on a skill level, all of these guys are so similar. So that's why if we do deal with any injury issues, I still feel good about this core group. But on to Chase Edmonds, who probably will get the start if Sony Michel doesn't just jaw drop everybody in camp, right? He had some choice words to say recently. These were his words. Chase Edmonds was asked about his quarterback, and his words were, Tua gets an unfair judgment. I think I think he was put in an unfair situation the last 2 years. We've got weapons around him this year. It's going to be a lot easier. You'll see the Alabama version of Tua that people remember. So I want to break that down. First off, I agree with Chase Edmonds to a degree. The last part that we're going to see an Alabama version of Tua that people remember. I don't know about that, but I'm hoping he's right. But Chase is basically saying whenever he says he gets an unfair judgment, that he thinks he was put in an unfair situation. And what his origin of saying an unfair situation is the talent that was around him. I mean, basically Chase is saying, look at the talent that was around him. I mean, that's unfair to compare him or give him a take judgment when he didn't have much around him. And I mean, if anybody want to be honest, he didn't have much around him. He had a terrible O-line, receivers in and out of the lineup with injuries. And at the end of the day, didn't even have a run game. So I get that. And he's right about that. Now, this notion that he's going to return back to Alabama form, I mean, at the end of the day, we all, we're hopeful that he does. It's just a matter of we got to see. We just hope so. We hope Chase Edmonds is correct. We hope that he's correct. Man, we definitely hope he's correct because he said also it's going to be a lot easier. And I agree. We have built a team that should be a lot easier for Tua. The real argument I think that Chase and others need to understand is nobody's debating those things. Let me go through this again one more time, okay? I think he was put in an unfair situation the last 2 years. Life ain't fair. The NFL ain't fair all the time. Did he have an unfavorable situation in most? Absolutely. Nobody can deny that, okay? He has the weapons around him now this year. Facts. He does. It's going to be a lot easier. Facts. It will. That's never been the debate. And that's not what people are judging Tua off of. What they're judging Tua off of is the fact that you will never have it perfect all the time. And there are some situations where you won't be put in a favorable situation. But can you still make enough plays to help carry your team? That's the real essence of the question when it comes to Tua Tagovailoa. And most people are arguing that point. But others want to stick on the other point that we all agree with. He didn't have everything around him. He had one of the worst O-lines. He didn't have a run game. Everybody knows that. Everybody technically agrees with that. But how will you perform when you don't have everything around you? How good do you look? And let me be fair here, but context this. Every quarterback in the NFL, ladies and gentlemen, and be clear. Let me say this loud and clear. Every quarterback in the NFL, if they ain't got a run game and they got the worst O-line in the NFL, they're not going to look as good as they can. That's every quarterback in the NFL. But when you don't have all of that, how good can you look? How good can you look? Some quarterbacks cannot have all of that, and they can still be ranked the 15th best quarterback in the NFL, which ain't great, but it's still you can have the number one quarterback in the NFL, and if he didn't have an O-line in the run game, he might end up being ranked the 15th ranked quarterback in the NFL. So obviously it pays a difference. But if you're ranked 32nd, there's levels to this. Yes. Mommy did your hair? All right, go put your clothes on, okay? Go put your clothes on, okay? Ugh, every day, this boy. And that's what it comes down to. Nobody wants to have that conversation. They just wants to talk about what he doesn't have. And I am here to tell y'all, every quarterback wouldn't look as great if they had what he had, but would they look that low? It's the conversation they don't want to have. So, to Chase Edmonds, we hope that we do get the Alabama version of Tua, because if we get the Alabama version of Tua, we have a much better chance of success. So time shall tell, but it is going to start with Tua, but I'm going to tell you now, it is going to end, or a major factor is also going to be this run game. And I like Chase Edmonds. I like his skill. But again, we're talking about another player who did he really get his get that work in? Give me a second. Let me pull this up for you all too. So when we talk about Chase Edmonds, what I'm trying to say to y'all, another guy that hasn't had a vast amount of NFL experience as far as being that guy. The one thing we can say about all these guys is that they're fast. But again, there hasn't been a lot of work put in the NFL. We already went over Raheem Mostert's career. Now Chase Edmonds as a rookie, he was eligible to play 16 games, but started 0. He was a third string back. He got 60 carries for 208 yards and 2 touchdowns, averaged 3.5 yards a carry. That's not good. Second year, he was eligible to play 13 games. He started 2. Only got 60 carries for 303 yards, 4 touchdowns, and that's where he started to show some flash with 5.1 yards a carry. Improvement. Third year, eligible to play 16 games, only got 2 starts again, gets 97 carries for 448 yards, average 4.6 yards a carry, very solid as a backup. And finally, last year, fourth year, only eligible to play 12 games, dealt with some injuries, and started 11. This was his opportunity to have his shot. 592 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5.1 yards a carry. Solid yardage. Looked like he was on pace for 900 and something yards. 5 games short. Let me see. I'm going to give you the exact average. Yeah, he was on pace for 900 and something yards, 3.5 touchdowns average. As a starter, that's a low-end running back 1 as a starter. So at the end of the day, we got a lot of guys who can make plays, but none of them have cemented themselves in this league to say, I'm that dude. So this is what further makes me feel like we're going to be doing this by committee. Okay. I'm going to go, before I get out of here, I'm going to go to the comment section, see what some of you all are saying. See here. You can still be success, but it's so much harder to succeed like that. I agree. It's definitely hard, but there's levels to this, right? TD, there's rumor that defensive end Clelin Ferrell and running back Josh Jacobs of the Raiders are on the trade block. Should the Fins make an offer for them for players and a 6th-round pick? I'm not sure about that, but I will say with Josh Jacobs, that would be an interesting bring in if you want to get rid of one of the guys that we have now. Just, here's why. On a 3rd and 1, I'd rather Josh Jacobs. I'd rather Josh Jacobs. And wait, let me hold on. Let me look something up real quick. Give me a second. And I don't know what's going on with him, but I don't know. You know what? I was thinking about the wrong person. I was like, hold on, Josh Jacobs, the starter, the young. But I was thinking about what's his name that used to play for him. That was the big guy. I was thinking about Brandon Jacobs, I think, for the Giants or something. But Josh Jacobs, yes. I heard about that. I think they want to go away from him and go with the by committee approach, like we have now. He's a he's not a so much a by committee guy. He's the guy. And I don't know if they want to continue on that road and that approach. He's the premier guy. He's the starter. He's the premier back. So I'm not sure if they really want to continue down that road. He's been perennial over 1,000 yards. He did have injury last year, missed 2 games. If he didn't, he would have ran for another 1,000. And that would have put him at a pace of 3 seasons over 1,000 yards. He's the guy that you hand the rock to all 3 downs. And I'm telling you, if that's something that you're interested in, what kind of money is he gonna want? Don't forget that as well. He is a Pro Bowl running back, just FYI. What kind of money is he gonna want? And who would you get rid of? And I will be honest with you I'll be honest with you. Let me bring this up for Josh Jacobs. I would be interested in moving Raheem Mostert because of the injury concerns. And I would send Gaskins. I would send both of those guys. So and I would have Josh Jacobs as the starter, Chase Edmonds as the backup, and Sony Michel my number 3. Let's go to war. What y'all think about him? What do y'all think about Josh Jacobs? Would you do that, what I just said? Let me know in the comment section. Would y'all get do exactly what I just said? Go with Josh Jacobs and trade Raheem Mostert and Gaskins, and maybe even give up a mid-round pick? Yes, sir. The Raiders would say no, to be honest. And I know. No, not a bad commuter. Um, that's not love Josh Jacobs, but paying running backs have hurt teams, especially Dallas. I wouldn't get him. Yeah, but let me say this. Would you really feel that way when we're gambling right now? We don't even have a guy that's solidified that we know is not going to get hurt, that we know is going to be a workhorse. We don't have a guaranteed guy. We just got committee guys. We don't have the ultimate proven guy who's run more than 2 years over 1,000 yards. I mean, the man is 24 years old. He's still a child. He's still a kid. You wouldn't invest in a really good running back, one of the top in the NFL, and you think you're going to have to pay crazy, crazy money? I don't think you really would. It'll be up there, but we have the money. Think about what you're paying Raheem Mostert this year. Let me go look at Mostert contract. Let me go look at his contract. Well, he paying almost 3 million. Oh no, it's a $2 million cap hit. I didn't even know and realize that, honestly. Friendly deal. What's Gaskins getting paid? I would assume not much. Miles Gaskins is getting this year. He'll be getting $2.6 million, and he could be cut, and we could save money off of that. But between the two, it's pretty much $4.5 million. How much you think? Man, listen, we'd have to spend some more money, but at the end of the day, man, you got the position on lock now, and you got backups like Chase Edmonds and Josh Jacobs. I'm sorry, I mean, you found your running back. So how would you feel if this running back by committee thing doesn't really shape out this year? No. Never mind. Excuse me. I keep Raheem Mostert. I'll just trade Chase Edmonds. Chase Edmonds he got a $12.6 million contract over 2 seasons. That's $6.3 million a season. That's $6.3 million a season. Him and Gaskins, that's $9 million you save between him and Gaskins. You add a few million on there and you got you Josh Jacobs. Now TD want to keep Raheem. Look at the money. I'll keep Raheem for $2 million before I keep Chase for $6.5 million. Mostert stay hurt though, but he wouldn't be the starter. Josh Jacobs would. And you still got Sony Michel. What I'm saying to y'all, Edmonds nor Mostert, either way you do it, you won't need to trust them. You won't need to rely on their health because Josh Jacobs will be your starter. And you still got Sony Michel. You still have Sony Michel. G Money Uptown with the donation said Tua not gonna be y'all QB when you can't pay people because he get 40 mil a year. He can't make the team better without superstars. Allen gonna take a step back when his contract kicks in and they gotta drop players. Hey, I've been telling people that, but I don't think Tua will get 40 million. Now, unless he puts up an MVP season, which will be shocking, but hey, you never know. TD, you missed my super chat. Oh, I just got a cheap money. My bad, man. I'll try to read it quicker next time. So, yeah, man. Sony Michel is old. He a backup. You got an old backup. Come on now. And y'all act like Sony Michel ain't still putting up numbers. Sony Michel has still been producing. Last year, Sony Michel had 208 carries for 845 yards. 4.1 yards a carry. I'll take that as a backup all day. The year before that, he averaged 5.7 yards a carry. I'll take that as a backup all day. Man, I'm telling y'all now. Chase Edmonds, Gaskins, and some draft picks, I'll send them right away. And a few little, intermediate draft picks, I'll send them right away. And I'll go ahead and give Josh Jacobs his money. It won't be crazy money, y'all. I think you'll be able to get him around 13 a year. In my opinion, at least, I think you can squeeze 13 a year. We barely use our running backs, and that's been the problem, right? That's been the problem. Isn't the goal to use them this year? Sony Michel had 800 plus. Yeah, he had 845 yards last year. The year before that, he didn't play much. He only got 79 snaps, but he had 449, which is crazy to only have 79 snaps. That's why he averaged 5.7 a carry. And the year before that, he had 912 yards. And the year before that, he had 931 yards. And that's in a system in New England that definitely runs by committee. Just my take. I just don't see how I would just pass up on Josh Jacobs if I had an opportunity to bring him in. I just don't see how I would pass up on him in the run game. But, everybody got their preferences. I'm just thinking if we're really going to help Tua and maximize what's around him, that would be a good opportunity. The people some call old and washed up still be balling. Exactly, man. They made me mad about that with Frank Gore. Frank Gore was still productive for us. He was the only thing we had going when he was here. With a terrible O-line, he'd sliding to the left, going up, sliding to the right. Had to navigate all that terrible traffic. All that terrible traffic, and he got it done. These veterans, man, some of them are they supposed to still be playing because they good. But I ain't gonna bore y'all with this, but I'm just saying, the opportunity to get Josh Jacobs, I don't even know what this is about. 2 of our running backs, I don't care which 2 you could send off without remorse. You could take 2 of them in the 3rd rounder and send it off without remorse. 2nd rounder I give without remorse. Without remorse. Bye. I would send them off. Any 2 of them. You matter of fact, for Josh Jacobs, hey, y'all pick which 2 you want. And I give you a 2nd. Which 2 you want? Them 2? All right, y'all, pack your bags. I mean, you went and got Tyreek Hill. You went and got Teron Armstead. Don't stop there if you don't have to. That's the problem with us Miami fans. We get they give us a little something, and we so grateful because they never give us nothing that we stop right there. This team never give us nothing. And they finally give us something, and we just so grateful, so it's okay. No, don't stop there. Keep going. If you got an opportunity, you keep going. I'll be on the phone with the Raiders right now. What it's going to take. I know y'all trying to go committee approach. We got a slew of good running backs by committee, but I can't pass up an opportunity to get Josh Jacobs. What 2 running backs would you want on this roster? And what draft capital would you need me to add to get this done? And we start negotiating from there. We start negotiating from there. Sorry, you got to make the best of this team, y'all. We can't get complacent. Just be like, we got Tyreek and we got weapons and, Cedric Wilson and this and that. I'm telling you got to make the best of this team. I was trying to tell y'all yesterday, you know how many teams got them a Chase Edmonds this offseason? Got them a Sony Michel, got them a Raheem Mostert. You know how many teams got them a Teron Armstead this offseason? You know how many teams got them a Cedric Wilson? Not many got a Tyreek Hill, but some of them did. You know how many people got a freaking Connor Williams? We ain't the only ones that jacked up, that bulked up. But don't stop if you don't have to. Better go look at the Rams. You better go look at the Eagles that year they won a Super Bowl, what they did. They ain't stopping. They were out here getting starters to be their backup. Oh, Jay Ajayi? Okay, yeah, go ahead and send him over. He was our starter. Oh, yeah, we need Jay Ajayi. He'll be our backup. And luckily, they got hurt, and he ended up starting. You don't stop. You keep going. You want Tua to be the guy, then you make a statement. You do everything. Take more attention off of him. Take more pressure off of him. Let the team around him carry him. Then I know he'll make plays here and there. I know he'll be like, ooh. Tua will make tons of plays if he don't have to. I'm just saying, man. It's just my opinion. But anyway, man, that's your news for today, ladies and gentlemen, at least for right now. Episode 3 of the series, Miami Dolphins, A New Era, will be dropping soon. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. I'll keep you posted. But it is ready to be dropped. But make sure you go check out the first 2 episodes because episode 3 is coming. Basically, it's titled Brian Flores Interview. So that one's coming up. And we'll go from there. All right. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Love y'all so much. Fins up no matter what. Hit that like button on your way in. And do me a favor. Go see the last short video that I made, the Miami Dolphins new era, and leave a comment in the comment section and hit the like button for me. Appreciate you guys. I will see you soon. Fins up no matter what. Peace. I am out.